Hey guys. Hey guys. Welcome to another episode of Hello World with your girl Joy from Be the Difference Clothing. How you doing? I hope everybody is doing well. I like to go and check to see if I'm buffering. Hey Donna Ray Love. Hi Alec. How you doing? Hey Lisa Black. How you guys doing? Good to see you guys. Thank you for joining us. This is going to be a really interesting it's going to be a really interesting Hello World because I have a guest, and our guest is the owner of Joys and Teaching. So that's why it's titled that way. So let me go in and see if I'm buffering real quick. Oh, the picture's good. And I'm going to share out the stream. How was everybody's day? I hope you're doing well. Come through. Okay, so I'll post it there. And then let me post it on one other platform. I have to tell you how my day went. And I'm really excited to tell you about that. So let me just do this so I can focus. All right. And one more thing. Okay, that's done. All right, so I shared out the stream. Ooh, we have a member. We have a member. And it's Patty D. How you doing, Patty D? How are you? Oh, cool. I hope you like it. Hi, Rob. How you doing? Welcome to Hello World. We have a guest tonight, guys, so it's going to be absolutely amazing. So let me tell you how my day went. So I woke up. I went to work. If you guys didn't notice, please go and check out the banner. I redid the banner like last night. I was in some channels that I hadn't seen in a while. I was at Pan Money and Short Bus Pull Up. I was at their channel. And in it, you know how like you get inspiration and people trigger something. So what they did was they activated and triggered something in me that needed to be done because I knew that I wanted to change my banner. I just didn't know what to. But as soon as I was in that chat, the inspiration came. So that's why, guys, we should always check on each other and always stay, stay familiar with people because you just never know what they could do for you. And it doesn't even have to be something that they physically do for you, but their presence and something that they speak will trigger something for you. Hey, Jay's in his house. Hey, Jess, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Leo, how you doing? Keep up with the Williams. Hi, welcome to Hello World. Thank you for coming. Thank you. These are my staple earrings. I got these earrings years ago at an event. I was vending, and the woman that was my neighbor, it was her first time vending, and I bought earrings. She bought my book. I bought earrings, and I've had these for about 3 or 4 years, and they're still doing well. Hey, JJ, how you doing? Good to see you. So let me tell you guys. So I went to work. Everything was good. Work was good. It was a little busy, but it was good, though. I got the banner accomplished. So tell me if you guys like it. And then, I decided to leave work early because I knew I was going to have an interview tonight, but I wanted to, do a couple of errands. And my one primary errand was going to the gym. I'm trying to be very consistent with staying and going into the gym and making sure that, I keep up with the running. Because remember, I told you guys, if you were here on Sunday, that when I started to run, all the mucus was basically coming out, which is a good thing. Like we're all full of mucus because of the things that we eat, the things that we drink, and environmental things cause mucus to build up. And sometimes the way you get it out is naturally by, raising that heart rate and working those lungs, and boom, everything will come right out. So for for the first 48 hours, I was just, nose was running. I went to the gym. I ran basically 10 minutes today on my same incline, 2 different times, 5 minutes before I worked out, 5 minutes after I worked out. I feel great. I feel energized. It's amazing how running for me, how that will actually make things a lot smoother. For those who can't run, that's fine. It's just get that heart rate up a little bit so that it can push out the old blood, circulate the blood a little bit, remember I was telling you I have been pain in that leg? Well, because of the running and the stretching, the pain is almost gone. And so we got to keep the liquid going through our bodies properly. Hey, Raymond, how you doing? Welcome to Hello World. Good to see you. All right, Patty. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Yes, keep up with William. Let me tell you, I will never, God willing that we don't go into lockdown again, I will never not utilize the gym. First of all, I'm paying for it, so I got to get my money's worth. And secondly, it's good for your body. And I know I can use outdoors, but it's something different when you have the machines there and the equipment. Anyway, so let me tell you a little bit about our guest. I met our guest a couple years ago, and I don't remember if we were doing an event together or, we'll have to ask her just to remind me. But there's a great significance to our guest. Her name is Jomira, and she is the owner and the curator of Joy in Teaching. And I think maybe, you know what it is? We met on Instagram. It wasn't even an event. We met on Instagram because I was just going around wanting to do a thing, and I saw this was local to the area, and I said, oh, I definitely have to, reach out. And of course, the name is Joys in Teaching. My name is Joy, so I said, hey. But ever since then, we've been really cool. Time has pushed us away for a little bit, but there's always something that will bring you back to people that are supposed to be in your life for whatever reason. And I appreciate Jomira. So without further ado, I do want to introduce you guys to Jomira. If you have questions for her, please put a question mark before and after your question so that she knows that you are asking her something, or at least that I can catch it, and then we can have her answer it. Hey, Purple, how you doing? But without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Jomira. Please consider supporting her on all of her platforms and whatever else she has, okay? So without further ado, here's Jomira. Hi, how are you?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Joy. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, no problem. You have been an amazing help. So did we meet because of Instagram? I inboxed you, right?
Okay. Yes. So our communication started on Instagram, and then we did meet in person at a vending. I think it was at Hudson County when we were doing the pop-up shop there.
Yes.
And I bought the onesie for my baby.
Well, that was the second time.
Yeah.
We had met before then. I think we had personally met, or one of your family members or somebody purchased something in Hoboken.
Yes.
So it was crazy. I think I didn't even know that you guys knew each other. So it was just it was one of those things.
Divine intervention, like you said, the universe puts people in your life for a reason.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Joys in Teaching.
Awesome. So Joys in Teaching, I don't know if anyone is familiar with Joys in Teaching. We actually started off as a tutoring service, and by we, I mean me. I am an educator by passion. It's my life's work. And when I started Joys in Teaching, the tutoring service, I was working in a school in Jersey City. many parents were reaching out and saying, hey, my kid is having deficiencies, but I can't afford, a Kumon. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. Can you help me? And so that was kind of the birth of Joys in Teaching, because I wanted to help as many people as I could without charging an astronomical amount, because like I said, education is my thing. And, we slowly started building programs, doing activities in the community, doing the pop-up shops. And we went from a sole one-person tutoring service to having a team of tutors, to having a summer camp, to being after-school activities, both free and paid after-school activities, developing curriculum, and then now it's become the nonprofit. And so really my goal is to give back to Jersey City, because this is the community that I was born and raised into. I actually am from Curry Woods, if anyone knows the Curry Woods housing projects here in Jersey City. So I just wanted to give back to my community, and like I said, share my gifts, share what I was blessed with, and that's what brings me here today.
Yes. Y'all, remember how I told you that I did a speaking engagement in front of 250 little kids? Now, you can thank Jermira for doing that. That was my first time doing an event with kids with that many people. And I was just like, I will never forget that. I appreciate you for helping me put that together. But yes, guys, she's the reason why I was able to speak in front of kids. It was at a charter school. Are you still there?
I am. I actually, I went from being a teacher, and I am now the dean of curriculum and instruction.
Oh, excuse me. Moved on up, y'all. Well, okay.
Little by little.
Hey, but that's a big deal. Okay, well, I'll always be willing to come back if you guys ever open school again.
April 26th, crossing our fingers.
Really? Are you nervous about it?
I'm nervous, but I'm excited, because for me, it's funny. A lot of people say I can't speak in front of kids because kids are so critical, but I love just being around children, that innocence, and the passion that I have for education comes directly from students, because they're so passionate about learning that I'm like, I've got to be around this. So it's been really difficult to be closed down, as it were, to be teaching and learning virtually, because you don't have that interaction with the kids, and there's only but so much energy you get from adults.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that energy.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, and your students, that school, guys, let me tell you, they have those kids really showing they are very disciplined in that school. And I was like in awe. Like, the kids were all very respectful. They just had to put a finger up and the whole room went silent. And I was like, okay. I said, okay, and make me even more nervous. But yes, that was great. Do you have children of your own too?
I do, and it's been a very tumultuous year for me. When we closed down, my youngest, who's about to turn 2 tomorrow, was turning 1. And imagine teaching from home and trying to homeschool your own children, and having a 1-year-old who was like he's attached to my hip. So I have he'll be 2 tomorrow. I have a 9-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old son. So they're on all kinds of different wavelengths. Mm-hmm. And it's been really challenging for me. My 14-year-old has acclimated very well to like the hybrid learning model. He actually he finished his 8th grade year in COVID, and started his freshman year in COVID. So he's acclimated really well to the hybrid model. My daughter needs to be in a classroom. She needs a teacher right next to her. So, and then my youngest, like I said, he's attached to me. So working from home has been very difficult mentally. They talk a lot about mothers and how important mothers are to families, but I think now people are realizing more like the power that a woman has because the multitasking, it's been very challenging.
I bet. And once he goes to preschool, woo-wee.
So he actually was at a really great preschool here in Jersey City, and unfortunately, because of COVID and because he has health issues, he couldn't go to preschool anymore. So we're excited to get back into the group so he can get back into preschool.
You think he'll have an issue going back? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, he's gonna be like, no, I like this. I like this better.
Yes, he's definitely he already has separation anxiety. So the minute I walk out the room, he runs behind me. So I think that that's going to be one of those things that I'm going to be getting phone calls. Justice is crying again. So yeah, that's going to be difficult for him for sure.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you guys too, with Joys in Teaching, another thing that really attracted me to the company was they were, at the time, you guys were doing the kids were able to like do their little young entrepreneurship. And I was so elated with that. I was like, oh, I love this. You saw little girls, little people, being hairstylists, opening their own businesses. Like, will you be able to implement that type of programming again?
Yeah, so we're actually working on rebuilding those programs because obviously COVID shut us down, which for me was devastating. Because like I said, my joy comes from children, comes from working with children, comes from getting that energy from children. So we're working on rebuilding. The Young Cosmetologist program is still running in some capacity. So we do have a partnership with Bombshell Bayonne, Crown by Minx. Go follow her on Instagram. So Miss Minx is still doing the apprenticeship and all of that great stuff. But on the Joys in Teaching side, we're definitely looking to rebuild and relaunch the Young Entrepreneurs program and get more youth involved. So definitely, if you guys have youth, hit us up, follow us at Joys in Teaching on Instagram, and let's talk.
Yeah. If anybody, Jazz, if you can, oh wait, I gotta put you a mod. If anybody is a mod, if you can find her Instagram, it's under Joys in Teaching. Oh, Purple, you're a mod. If you wouldn't mind, or Patty, whichever one of you, if you could put her link in the chat. You have a website too, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, if you guys could help me find that, please, and post it in the chat. That'll be a great help if you can. If you can't, then I understand. Hold on one second. Thank you, Tails, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let me just make him a mod again as well. Okay. Sorry about that. So what made you come up with the name Joys in Teaching?
So my initials are JIT. So I wanted to play off of that a little bit. And then again, like I said, education is my passion. So it kind of went hand in hand. It was one of those things that was a no-brainer. It was like, yeah, I find joy in this. This is my job. Let's put it together. So yeah, Joys in Teaching. And we actually went through a name change because when I first launched the business, it was Joys of Teaching. And I was like, this is not working. I don't like this. So I changed it and it's Joys in Teaching now.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. If anybody has, here's Tales with T said she's a pre-K teacher. This is the hardest year ever. Next year will be harder with kids all coming back. Yeah, because they'll probably all be like used to, now you as a dean, that probably is going to be a little tough, right? Because they're like emotionally going to be like, I like school or at home better.
It's funny because as a parent, my daughter says that to me all the time. She's like, Mom, I don't want to go back because she likes being at home, but she needs to be in school. As a dean, it's been very stressful because we talk about the COVID gap, right? And the learning loss that students have faced this year because there are so many different types of families. You have your families that obviously can afford to stay home, and then you have those that can't. And our school goes from K to 10 right now. So you even have high schoolers that are not getting their full education because maybe they're helping at home with the younger sibling. Maybe they are working because mom and dad got laid off or whatever the case may be. So aside from the emotional impact, right, that's social too. Like I fear for my child, and I don't know if Tales of Tea can attest to this, but I fear for my child on the social aspect as well. I'm afraid that he's not going to be able to interact with children his age because he doesn't have that interaction now, turning two. And like you said, going into preschool, at 2.5 or 3 years old, what does that look like? Obviously, it's the emotional stress of, oh, now I got to break away from my mom. But that social aspect, I'm afraid of what that might be or what that might manifest as. And then as a dean, you have these students coming in and you have to deal with those things. You're going to have kids who open up to you and say, like, this happened during lockdown, or like, maybe their parent passed away or grandparent passed away. So how do you deal with those things? And, our counselors are great. Our social workers are amazing. And they've been reaching out, and they've been going to homes and doing things like that. But it's been a full year now that we've been dealing with this. So I'm definitely worried about the emotional trauma.
Yeah, that's scary, I would think. Um, this your the charter school, was it federally funded?
So the charter school is a public school. So it did receive federal funding. Yes.
Well, did that, being that it was locked down, AIDS and stuff, did that affect you guys at all? Like, did you have to push back and be like, no, we still want to keep our school open. We still will have this many people enrolled. We still need busing. We still need lunching, all that. How did that affect?
Yeah. So what's really great about our school, and I think sets us apart from other schools, is that we have our own bus system.
Okay.
So we were able to actually keep our bus aides employed and things like that because we were still doing the free meals. So our bus aides were doing the routes, our bus drivers were doing the routes and delivering food. So they still had employment. Our lunch aides and our teacher aides still had employment because we were having them, in more of a support role. It was definitely challenging, but our building has still been open for parents to come in. We have our office staff there. Obviously, if they need computers or materials, they can come in and get those things. So we've still been able to, I would say, function on probably about 90% capacity, even though our building, even though we didn't have students coming into the building.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. That's how y'all got it together. Because I'm sure a lot of other schools in the city didn't make it.
Yeah, we've definitely been trying to make sure that school is a community place. As much as people would like to say school is just educational, our schools feed our students. In some aspects, they clothe our students. Like, students come in and they get services. Families come in and they get services. We are a community center for all intents and purposes. And I think that that's why I love the school that I work in, is because we know that we are in service to others. And that was our primary goal when we shut down, is we need to make sure our families are taken care of 100%. And so we made sure that we did those things, whatever we had to do to make sure that we got those services out there.
Girl, that's good. No, seriously, like it's refreshing to hear that. Now break down the curriculum. Like, do you guys only teach? No, seriously, because I've had conversations on here with everyone about how I feel like, it's not, a lot of the schooling isn't preparing the kids for realistic living. But it sounds like to me you guys got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and I think that our curriculum, obviously we for our core subjects, we follow the Common Core state standards because we are held accountable to the state. And I think that's a common misconception too, is that people are like, oh, charter schools are not held accountable, or teachers don't have certifications and things like that. That's a common myth. So within our curriculum, we build in life skills. We build in, we have project-based inquiry where our students are able to work in communities and solve problems together. We do community service. I mean, we just had our 8th graders put together phenomenal fundraising letters for the Equal Justice Initiative, and we were raising money for them. Our 6th graders put together slideshows. They were learning about refugees and immigration, and they put together slideshows in support of Welcome Home Jersey City that supports refugees right here at home. They were doing fundraisers for that. We've done fundraisers for the water initiative in Africa. So we fundraise for Heifer International. Sorry, we've done the great Jersey City cleanup. So we incorporate life and community into everything that we do at our school. And so, within the curriculum, we make sure that we build in time for those things. And for me, it's super exciting to be a dean of curriculum and instruction, because I get to make sure that we are, teaching our children social justice. I mean, our 8th graders read Stamped. And by the way, we were trying to do a book club for Joys in Teaching. If you haven't read Stamped, hit us up, because we need some people for our book club to join us in that conversation. It's an important conversation about anti-racism. So our 8th graders read that book, so it's been a great journey working with the school that I work with, working for the community that I work with, and then also, implementing those kinds of things into the fabric of Joys in Teaching.
I like that. I really do. What measures did you guys have to take to meet the requirements to open, like for COVID?
Yeah, so we have,
She
yes,
just said,
thank you, Patty.
yeah.
Definitely analytical thinking, thinking outside of the box, and pushing that thinking, right? Because we don't want to put our values on students. We want them to make their own decisions. In regards to the COVID measures, we have hand sanitizer everywhere. You can't enter the building without getting your temperature checked, without making sure you have a mask on, without getting hand sanitizer. The 6 feet apart rule applies. In our classrooms, we do have the 6 feet, so the desks are 6 feet apart, but we also have a mask requirement, and we also have the shields in front of the students.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so
you don't think that, like, I'm sorry, but you don't think that causes the whole pick up, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know. It's crazy, the world that we live in, right? Like, whoever thought that this would be what education is? And honestly, COVID is changing the trajectory of public education, right? So there's going to be so many changes that come down the pipeline. I mean, maybe the 6 foot or 3 foot rule will no longer apply, but everything is going to change. I mean, if you think about homeschool, for example, I don't know if anyone has ever known someone who's been homeschooled by their home school. So like, let's say if you're sick or whatever case, and you have to have a teacher come to your home, you don't need to do that anymore, because now we have virtual platforms to do that. Yeah. So, teaching and learning, even for myself, I in addition to being dean and running Joys in Teaching, I'm also an adjunct professor. So even that has changed, where I'm now teaching online to college students. They don't need to come into the classroom, you know what I mean? And so it's just a different dynamic. One of the things that I say that it's a blessing in disguise is that now even our quote unquote poorer schools have one-to-one, right? Like, technology is no longer a barrier, because COVID has forced funding into technology. So now all of our students have access to technology, which is phenomenal, because we're in the digital age, and students need to be able to be global citizens, right? So I think that while there are some challenges, right, from COVID, I think that there's a lot that we can learn from this experience and take it into next year.
Yeah. How will you guys implement, like, because I know socially that's got to be kind of crazy to walk into classroom and just see like glass, plexiglass all over the place, and you got to be in a mask suffocating all day. Like, how how will you guys do lunches, gym, and how is everybody gonna be able? Because they may not think it, but it's definitely the kids. Like your son, your last son, he's not gonna know any different because that's just gonna be his life.
Right.
But for like, I can only imagine it. You know, it did something for me when I was going to the grocery store. When I first saw the plexiglass, I was like, I'm not in jail. I refuse to be by, you know what I'm saying? So, like, how will you guys combat that so that they don't think that and internalize it?
Yeah, so I think that we do a really good job at implementing the SEL. So the state also requires social emotional learning. And so as part of that, we talk to our students and we before they even step into their classroom, they're going to know like these are the precautions we're taking because we want to keep you safe. This is what COVID is. Obviously, we've all lived through it. And this is what science says, right? So let's talk science. This is what science says is going to protect you. And this is why it's important. And we have those conversations even with our kinders all the way up to our 11th
Oh.
graders. So definitely making sure that they understand that this is a safety thing, and we definitely give them breaks from the mask though. So they
Oh,
will
okay.
like get to take some time, put their mask down, eat their snack, eat their lunch. Unfortunately, again, because of COVID regulations, they have to do all of those things at their desk. But what's really
Oh,
great about our school is that we're located next to a park. So kids can
right.
go outside, they can go play for PE, for recess, they can get that fresh air, spring is coming. So I think that that's how we will deal with, that kind of stuff and making sure that they get those breaks. But also, going back to the curriculum aspect, making sure that our curriculum is flexible so that we can build in those things for students.
Mm-hmm. So, how many students can be in a classroom now?
So in our space, about roughly 15 to 17.
That's a
And
big difference.
that's a conundrum though for public education right now, right? Is we have
Yeah,
so many kids in our schools. How do
yeah.
we get
Same.
them all in?
That's what I was saying. So, what happens when all of them meet the capacity? Like, are they forced? Will you guys offer like half can do homeschool all the way or part-time school? Like,
Yeah, so the state has not yet mandated that you have to physically be in school. They're still allowing for schools to do some virtual or hybrid learning. So that is an option still available to families. So if families don't feel safe, coming into the building, they still want their child to be virtual, then they have that option to stay virtual for the rest of the year.
mhm. And as a teacher, what is it like to like really just teach from a computer screen and do checking the assignments and are they even turning their assignments in on time? Like, how do you stay on top of them about that? I know that's not all the way your responsibility, but if you were in class, you would have to bring your homework and you'd be like, what are you doing? Why isn't it here? You know?
So we've actually at our school implemented a few measures. Obviously, we've changed our grading and the way that we do things. We've tried to keep things as consistent as possible. So obviously, in K-2, you have parents who are heavily supporting students, and then when you get to high school, they're basically on their own. So we have built in one day as we call it Wellness Wednesday. But essentially, what that is a day for teachers to do all of their teacher work, to contact mom and say, hey, little Jimmy didn't do this assignment yesterday. Can you get on him to do that? But it's also a day for teachers to work individually with students if they're struggling or with small groups of students, and for students to get that work in if they haven't done it. So they get to meet with their teacher. This is what I need help with, or this is what I'm missing, and then they get that opportunity to fill that to do that. But again, it's the flexibility. It's holding the bar, right? Making sure the students are learning, holding them to a high standard, but also making sure that we provide the services and the ability for students to be able to be successful.
Mm-hmm. So where does Joys in Teaching fit in this now? Are you still able to offer your services there?
I love that you asked that, because we actually got off a call today, and one of the things that we were talking about was a summer camp. And I was like, yes, I'm ready to roll. Let's go. I'm super excited. I miss my summer camp. So that Joys in Teaching will be building out a summer camp experience for my school, working very closely to get that off the ground. Like I said, I am taking aspects of what I do as my passion and trying to bring that to the community. So the book club was one way of doing that as well. That's free. And we buy the books for whoever signs up, so you don't have to pay for that. It's a free experience. Just talking about relevant issues. We do have parent workshops that we're launching. One is on organizing your child, so that's a 4-part series. Again, it's free. So all of these things that I've learned working in the school, I've been able to take it and mold it, right, and make it available to the greater Jersey City community, and vice versa. Everything that I do within the community becomes now a resource for the students in that school. So that's what I love so much about the two worlds. They work so good together, and I just feel like so energetic and full of joy, for lack of a better term, when I'm doing it.
We just had one question.
I am in New Jersey.
Yep. We're both from Jersey City.
But
yes.
I work, so part of what we do with Joys in Teaching is build homeschool curriculum. So we've worked with families in Florida, families in Pennsylvania, families in Texas. So Joys in Teaching is based out of Jersey City, New Jersey, and this is our home base. But we have worked in other states as well.
So basically, it's a tutoring program. So yeah, guys, if you need, I feel like going back to preschool just by whatever you talk about. I'm like, oh, I want to have that experience in school. But if you guys are looking, she says she's moving here now. If you guys have anyone who now, is there like an age cap or a grade cap with Joys in Teaching?
No, not at all. I'm always researching, always learning, always putting things together. I even parent workshops we've been building those out for about 4 years now. So there is no age gap.
Okay, y'all. So you hear it. If you hear her for yourself, and I trust you. I've known you for a little bit, but I trust you. And if you guys are looking for any type of tutoring services, and she's an adjunct professor, so check out Joys in Teaching. Let me see if I can find the website real quick. I should have looked this up before Joys in Teaching, so I could throw it in the chat.
It's thejoysinteaching.org.
Oh, okay. So let me just put that in there. HTTPS. Tell us a funny fact about you while I'm writing this in there.
I don't know if it's a funny fact, but I'm the oldest of 8 children. My younger brother, actually, his birthday's today. And the sibling that was born after me was born 9 months after me.
Oh, wow.
I ask my mom how that happened all the time, but
she got busy.
So I have a sibling that is 9 months younger than me.
So you guys are that would be like, imagine if you guys were like cousins, or you were the aunt and they were the nephew or the niece. That's that kind of situation.
Yeah, he was actually born. He would have been 11 months younger, but he was born 2 months premature. He was born at 7 months.
Oh, okay. Tell him we said happy birthday.
I will. But other than that, there's nothing really exciting about me or fun about me.
Oh, please. You just gave us a whole lot of air. That's exciting. Listen, you are able to handle being a full-time mother, a full-time dean, a full-time teacher, an adjunct teacher, and you have your own business. Like that's 5 different things. How exciting is that? Like that's a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Patty says your curriculum sounds very interesting. Yeah, guys, go check that out. I just put the website in the chat if you want to check that out for yourselves. Are you ever looking for anyone to do any sponsorships or anything?
100%. So like I said earlier, we have actually transitioned over to being a nonprofit. So we offer, obviously we have our for-profit services, but we're trying to do as much as we can within the community without charging, especially now with COVID and things like that. So we're always looking for sponsors. Our summer camp is one of the biggest things that we try to get sponsors for. But right now, just, if anyone can log to go to our Instagram at Joys in Teaching, you'll see every Tuesday we post ways that you can help. So definitely would appreciate the support. Thank you, Jez.
Yes, thank you, Jez. Yeah, so go to her Instagram. Let me just type that in the chat too. Is there anything else you want to enlighten us about? Because I know I done kept you for about 40 minutes.
No, I just, what I wanted to say, Joy, is that when you opened up, you were talking a little bit about how like we have to check in on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Please do. Please check in on those people who are quiet, even the people that are smiling all the time. One of the taglines that we use is it takes a village, but it takes a village even when you're 34, which is how old I am. Like, we need our people, we need our village. And I just want to thank you so much, Joy, for reaching out to me, because honestly, you never know what kind of impact you have on a person. And when you reached out to me, it was very timely. I was
Aww.
in one of those mental spaces where it was just like, this isn't working.
Aww.
And you reached out and I was like, universe is talking. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. By all means, keep moving.
Oh, wait, no, I'm not going to cry, but that feels my little spirit.
you were being the difference in my life in that moment. So thank you so much.
I'm glad. See, I'm glad. All I want to do is try to do good. That's really all I really want to do. I know you do have products. So if you guys want to talk about, the website is not coming up. Hold on. I probably spelled it wrong. Let me see. Joys.
I see. It's thejoysinteaching.org.
Oh, thejoysinteaching.org. I'm just gonna grab it from the sorry, Octavia, but thank you for letting me know. Wait, did I put that in right? You forgot the. Oh, if I can spell teaching right.
Yes, Patty, she definitely is the joy.
Y'all crazy. All right, here we go. There's the website right there. I'm gonna just throw that in. No, that opened up the Yelp. Let me just put it in the chat real quick.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, Jazz got it. Thank you, Jazz. I'm still here. Okay, Ms. Terrell, I want to thank everybody who's been here in the chat. Hey, 1SP, how you doing? Good to see you. Jazz, Tails, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate you. Leo, everybody in queues. I saw all y'all. Nicole, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. Wayne, good to see you too. But I'm gonna give the whole entire thing to you. So if you want to, give us a little something to feed off of, to be inspired for the rest of the month, please do. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say thank you all for joining in. One of the things that, like I said earlier, that I think we need to make sure that we're doing, especially in COVID times, is checking in on each other. Check in on your quiet friend, check in on your friend who's always smiling, check in on that friend who's been quiet, because you never know what people are going through. And this time is especially challenging for everyone. I saw a meme that said something about, we're not all in the same boat, but we're in the same waters. So some of us might have a yacht, some of us might have a canoe. Help out the people that have a canoe. Definitely make sure that you're reaching out, because you can be the difference in someone else's life. So please continue to spread love and light. Stay positive and stay up.
I know that's right. Guys, do you have any other questions that you have for Jomira and for the owner of Joys in Teaching? Please ask them now before we go. Let's see. Oops. I'm not good at looking at that. So anything? All right. Well, my name is Joy from Be the Difference Clothing, and it was a pleasure and an honor. Thank you for saying yes and showing up and enlightening us, because, you know, I had a little thing about education for a little bit, but now I'm like, I want to go back to school. Maybe not, but, you know, I still want to, like, it seems like it's so much fun to actually learn when you guys are, you know, invigorating people like this. And I know what it was when I went to the school that one day. It was like I was just like excited because the kids were good. They were respectful. I use them sometimes in my little object lessons when I'm talking on here as a reminder, like, you know, you could teach a kid to do whatever. But this is Jomira from Joys in Teaching. And awesome. Thank you for sharing. That's all they were saying. Okay. But we are signing out on another episode of Hello World.
Bye. Have a good night.